So, a bit of a follow-up, I guess, on the business of Superman and Wonder Woman showing up on the set of the Batman, which clearly was people dressed up in Halloween costumes for the purpose of a Halloween party that will take place within the plot of the Batman, but could indicate that the Wonder Woman and Superman exist in the world of the Batman. But then there's other rumors, and this has been floating around for quite a while, but here Mikey Sutton honed in on it, that this all has to do with the Flash movie possibly rebooting the DCEU, especially since they're calling it Flashpoint, and it, which is exactly what that story did for the comic books. And that this is, it stands to reason that this is what it would be, since it does involve the Flash running into multiverse versions of DC characters and all that. So at the end of it, everything could be a little different, and that's how you could introduce. The main thing was it was thought that that's how they would introduce a new Batman and possibly even a new Superman, although Henry Cavill, I think, is pretty much in the running, and the fan support is pretty huge. That being said, I think there's a huge fan support for Ben Affleck to remain in the role, but of course, if he doesn't want it, then it can't happen. So one of the ideas was, of course, their new Batman. Well, it's Robert Pattinson as we're going now. So would the movie end by folding in Robert Pattinson's Batman into the world that Henry Cavill exists in with his Superman? So apparently Warner Brothers, fueled by, or AT&T's parent company, says they, and the direct quote is, fueled by The Rock's passion for a cinematic universe. So, The Rock was a big cheerleader for the shared universe idea. For a while there, it kind of looked like they were going to abandon that, and there would just be these standalone films of superheroes. So Wonder Woman would be her own thing, Aquaman would be his own thing, and so on and so forth. But Rock, he's not crazy about that, eh? He wants Superman, he wants the Justice Society, all that stuff. And apparently so does AT&T, and AT&T just wants to generate excitement and hype around these properties for the purposes of HBO Max primarily, but just the properties in and of themselves for their investment into Warner Brothers to pay off. So simply, they're interested in an idea of teaming Robert Pattinson's Batman and Henry Cavill's Superman in a World Finest film. So World Finest, of course, was the title, long-running title of a comic book series where Superman and Batman teamed up all the time. They were the main stars of that title. Later on, there was Brave and the Bold, where Batman would team up with other characters, and then there was DC Comics Presents, where Superman would team up with other characters. On occasion, I think in World Finest titles, he did team up with others besides Batman, but it was very rare. So primarily, it was Superman and Batman team-up stories. And then eventually, for whatever reason, they abandoned the World's Finest title and just called it Batman Superman or Superman Batman, and that was the name of the title going forward. Whether they would call it World's Finest, I mean, why not? But that would be the idea, and that so then Pattinson would be the new Batman. Now, of course, big, huge desire for Affleck's Batman to return, which could still happen even with all of this. It's just his story would just be this one story that he does for HBO Max, kind of like what Snyder Cut is, and then that would be it. And if he participates further for the Snyder story, I don't know if they would replace him with Pattinson's Batman to be in that. Don't know if that quite fits, considering Affleck's Batman is an older Batman and had a 20-year history behind him, and that puts him in the position that he's in emotionally wise. And then Pattinson is, he's a younger man. He's new to his superhero career, unless they jump it ahead and just pretend that he is a little, but not as old as Affleck's Batman was. So, it's kind of hard to fit that in there and didn't make the Justice League stories work. So, the different narratives would have to be in different points in time or how things change. It would be better to just go ahead and separate the two. And if they want to Cavill in a team up, then they're either going to have Affleck return as Batman, or just recast him and say it's the same guy. Yeah, I know. It doesn't look right, but he's got to play that same character. I've often thought Armie Hammer would make a good one. They worked well together in Man from U.N.C.L.E., which was a movie that wasn't treated fairly. It bombed, but that's a good movie. I saw it later after it was no longer in theaters and stuff, and I thought, well, damn, this was pretty good. All I heard was that it wasn't any good, and it's not true. It's pretty good. It's also, I can see why people thought Cavill would make a good James Bond. So, but that's neither here nor there. So that would be a better thing, because the thing of it is here, Pattinson's Batman is just now getting started. So his movie comes out, and the idea, I'm assuming, would be a trilogy of his Batman films. The idea of signing him up for crossovers into some other Justice League would stand to reason once they want to pursue another shared universe, but it could work as another one alongside DCEU, as DCEU, by the time you get to that, could be wrapping up. They need to get on to Superman and get him going, and all of this, and then further Justice League films for HBO Max and all that, and that kind of finishes up that story. And then Wonder Woman wraps up her third movie. At a certain point, these actors are going to have to move on. And by the time you're there, you could be introducing your new superheroes, and Pattinson is just the first of that round. And by the time he's got to his third Batman movie, you could have already have the Justice League story wrapping up, and probably Superman close to wrapping up his third film or what have you. And you by this time you're introducing yet another one, that exists within the world of Pattinson's Batman, and you can work on that to what makes it different from the Cavill Superman and stuff like that. And even your new Wonder Woman could be in there. And maybe to differentiate it, your new Wonder Woman has a costume that looks more like the classic, as a Wonder Woman outfit that Linda Carter had or whatever. And your Superman could be more closer to the Christopher Reeve outfit, which was the Superman outfit. Stuff like that they could do. And it should run not exactly consecutively, but consecutively, not simultaneously, but consecutively. One follows the other, and you've moved. That version of your DCEU has finished, and now you've got this new universe. I don't know what you want to call it, new DC universe. And you never really need, unless you just want Pattinson to do a cameo in the Flashpoint movie or something like that. To say, oh, look, multiverse. But beyond that, that's all it is. I suppose they could do a story where Cavill's Superman finds himself in a multiverse world and he meets this other Batman. But that's at a certain point, you've acknowledged your multiverse, but now you got to let your stories stand on their own. You can't just keep doing that. Well, look, another world, and it's like you can never get to an actual story. It's just a tour of worlds, like a safari. It's a cosmic safari. Oh, there's a title. Oh. So I think now it's a tough thing to do and to schedule and hope things, because there's going to be stuff, there's stumbling blocks, but that's true either way. But to just sort of force it all in, it's workable to a point, I suppose, but I really want Affleck's Batman to get a better send-off than just a glorified cameo in a Flash movie. So hopefully they would consider that rather than do your world's finest real quick with Cavill and Pattinson's Batman. Anyway, but that's my thoughts on it. Of course, a lot of it could be total nonsense, and they're not even going to do that, but I don't know. I can understand the desire for it for the purposes of hyping their product, to do something like that, so that gives some credence to the motive of wanting to attempt something like this. It's just not something I would want. I'd rather the idea I had, but a lot in all of this is what you're looking at 10 years from now of a bunch of this stuff to roll out, depending on what kind of movie industry will even exist, considering what happened in 2020. So everything is up in the air, even if they intend for it to happen. It might not, despite everyone's best wishes for it. Anyway, still a lot of stuff going on for your favorite DC superheroes.
All right. Thank you for watching and listening. Why not like and subscribe and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores and have plenty of goodies for you. You know, hats, mugs, stickers, posters, all that goody stuff. Plus, you can head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book Night Night. Oh, yeah. Plus, you can also catch my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, over at RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on my channel at BitChute. That's the Mr Nailsin channel on BitChute.com.